So if we're talking about things like WAN optimization and security products, as we described a minute ago, they really go hand in hand. If you don't have visibility, you can't enforce control. If you can't enforce control, you can't accelerate. And the reason is because if you don't know what's on there, you'll accelerate everything. Now, yeah, there's a lot of, I wouldn't call them competitors, there's a lot of companies out there that make what we describe as point products. I think at Blue Coat we have a solution approach, right? So if I was an IT manager, and I meet a lot of these guys all the time, there are products out there that just do one thing. They might only do acceleration of certain types of traffic. That is a little bit short-sighted because they will actually accelerate everything in that traffic bracket, whether it be good, whether it be bad, and whether it needs acceleration or not. With security, there's some security products out there. Again, it could be a point product where you say, well, it's helping me most of the time. Most of the time isn't good enough. It's got to be all the time. It's got to look at everything, right? It really has to understand what the user is doing. It has to partner up maybe with a DLP system, with an AV system. It has to have dynamic web filtering, which is really important. The internet's growing. There's websites by the minute, so a dynamic rating system is absolutely mandatory. And then the third thing is what we call, well, that there are report tools out there. There are pieces of equipment you can put into a network and look at what's going on. The trouble is, they just give you a report. They say, there's what's happening. The problem is, what do you then do with that report? Often they're very complicated. They require you then looking at the other 2 or 3 point products you've bought, looking at that report and trying to figure out how you should make the changes, which is quite time consuming. It can be extremely complicated and often very difficult. Yeah, and with the Blue Coat approach, as I said, we take a more systematic approach to all of these 3. We call them the 3 pillars of application delivery networking. As I mentioned about reporting, if you've got a big report and you don't know what to do with it, it's very, very difficult. And our products actually talk to each other and they can make changes automatically. So if you've got a policy set and one of our systems sees something that is going to affect that policy, another product or even that product in our solution set can make the changes for you. We're getting to the point even now where you can be given a suggestion of what to do in real time. There's an anomaly on the network, or the CEO wants to do a very, very clear, clean video conference. We can give you suggestions of how to increase the bandwidth or how to decrease the use of other things without making them go away, and then provide that service just for that half hour, for that 1 hour. So the thing about it is it's got to be dynamic, it's got to be real time, it's got to be really, really granular, and the approach has to be systematic. Well, I think if you look at a lot of the IT managers out, they're really leaning to, and we mentioned it with this slight downturn, their spend is becoming maybe a little more controlled, and they've actually got to take that money and spend it more efficiently. And with a systematic approach, and use the word single source, I wouldn't call it that. I would actually call it systematic, where you're actually buying products from a single vendor that actually do everything you need to do. Everybody will need it. Bandwidth is not getting any cheaper. The use of the internet and external links, internal links, whether it be MPLS or anything, is increasing. The internet will not be turned off. People will still require access to it 24/7. Applications are now moving from inside the data center, they're moving to the cloud. Not only that, branch offices are losing their servers as they're consolidated back into HQ. So all access needs to be more efficient. The thing about WAN acceleration as a technology is it is growing. It is actually becoming mandatory because people really want the scale and they want the efficiencies out of what they spend on those links.